So let's start out the show a little differently tonight. Knock knock.
Wait. So we're starting with a joke. So you want me to sign off, and then
No, just stay.
all right, fine. We'll play along. Who's there?
Uh, Interrupting corn dog announcer intro video.
Interrupting.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, corn dog lovers of all ages, welcome to In the Box with your hosts, Matt and Adam.
Everybody get.
Hello.
Boy, I wish I could have done that a lot better. I couldn't even say the word corn dog.
I know. It's. What are you gonna do? Welcome to our fourth attempt at doing this show this week.
The fourth attempt. That's what they say. The fourth time is a charm, right?
Fourth time is a charm, yeah. So we only have 3 people watching. I think they think this is a joke that we're actually going to be on tonight.
The joke is that we're here.
The joke is that we're here, right? Exactly. So, yeah, I got hit with what started out as allergies that turned into a sinus infection that went into my chest and gave me a bronchial infection. So my voice is shot. I may go to random timeouts here and there so I can cough my lungs up. And Kelsey, this is not the $699 Gordy jersey. But thank you for finding us. We were gonna switch on. We were gonna go over to Twitch tonight, but nobody created the channel for us. So
Yeah, we were talking about it literally 30 seconds before the show, and yeah.
the joke would have been that we would have gone live on Twitch, but instead the joke is we're actually live tonight.
Actually, the joke was going to be I was going to start streaming on Twitch. Adam was going to be on YouTube, and then he was going to call me and be like, "Hey, where are you?" And be like, "I'm on Twitch. What are you doing?" And then it was going to be like that, and everyone was going to laugh and hi.
And then we would switch back. So then you would go on YouTube and I would go on Twitch.
Like, I don't know how I would go on YouTube on my phone, but I would have figured it out.
Minor details that we haven't figured out yet.
I don't know.
So thanks to the 4 of you who are watching us.
Yes, you're in for a treat.
You're in for a treat. Unfortunately, it's not cake.
Yeah, it's not. It is not cake. I am out of cake. I have found. I'm a big fan of trail mix now.
Not cake.
It is not cake, but it is still good. I mean, trail mix is quite good.
I have a couple of these left.
Oh yeah, the Ghirardellis.
Yeah, those are good.
I also got Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, nice.
A bunch of those.
I did have a piece of that carrot cake, which is now a favorite. The stuff that you DoorDashed me that one night.
Yeah.
We've gotten it like 4 other times since.
We'll see. There you go.
I had that, but last night. So, as part of the, I'm on antibiotics and prednisone. And for me, for a lot of people, like prednisone makes them like swell up or not eat or lose appetite. For me, my appetite goes through the roof. So I'm sitting here at night, like I can tell I'm full, but my brain is saying, "You're hungry. Go eat something." So,
and it's saying eat cake.
Right, and the cake didn't make it.
You should probably give yourself a piece of cake right now.
I don't have any cake.
Well, I mean, you could have one, maybe scroll across the screen or something, and that could be like eating.
Okay.
All right.
I think you missed.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was ready for it. I set myself up for that one, and I still failed.
You did. You really did.
Yeah. Well,
so let's see what. So we had a show last Tuesday, and then all sorts of things happened.
all sorts of things that just kind of came out of nowhere. Exactly.
Yeah, and then I feel because we didn't have a show until now, and we missed some stuff because like the big news is MASL with no notice moved to Twitch.
No, we did talk about that.
but we didn't know if it was going to be full time or not because it was still like half the games were on YouTube, but some of them were on Twitch and YouTube, and some of them were only on
Oh,
Twitch.
so now
And,
it's the full time. Oh,
Yeah.
the full time switchover.
and,
Yeah.
and exactly what I said, they're hanging on to that 285,000 view thing, even though they haven't gotten anywhere even remotely close to that since then. But they're hanging on to that is that was their test, and they did it, and they survived, and they conquered, and now it's Twitch. I mean, I was pissed because Twitch doesn't work on a lot of devices. It doesn't work on Roku. So what happened is Amazon bought Twitch, and like all these little companies that love to fight each other, they pulled Twitch channels from everywhere. So you can't have it on a Samsung TV. You can't have it. Actually, you can't have it on any smart TV that is not a Fire TV. Can't have it on Roku. Doesn't work on like other platforms. But I did find it works on Xbox. Yes.
So it doesn't work with TVs that are on Fire.
I think that's what Fire TV means. So that's a hack to get, a little bit of lighter fluid, a match or two, and you'll be fine.
So you'll be able to get Twitch on that. Okay.
Right. Yeah. And then you'll be able to get like live sound effects
Ooh,
of your TV exploding.
I like it.
Kevin says, bold prediction, Wave making the playoffs, Utica will not. Florida looked almost as bad as the Wave against the Sockers. I was saying the same thing, Kevin. We sent in a team with 11 players missing and lost 13-2. Florida sent in a team with 3 players missing and lost 11-4.
And they also lost 5-4 to Utica.
And they also lost 5-4 to Utica.
Which we both called, by the way. I'm pretty proud of ourselves.
I don't know how we did that, but yes, we did.
Well, we picked Utica to win.
Oh, that's how we did it. Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But, so the Twitch thing. So if you have a PlayStation or Xbox, that will work. If you have a Chromecast, I think that will work, although I never tried it. It also work on the Insignia brand TV that Best Buy sells are Fire TVs. So I found that out on a happy mistake, an accident, because I was gonna try to figure out how to get it on my basement TV with my Chromecast, but then I turned it on and one of the apps that came up was Twitch. I'm like, oh,
Well, there
okay,
you go.
I guess we have Twitch now on the basement TV. So, it's annoying because I have this HDMI switching box that doesn't like an Xbox and Roku combination. So when I go over to the Xbox, it works, and then I have to like unplug the switching box and plug it back in to get back to my Roku, but it works.
Yeah, like I said last week, my issue with Twitch is if I'm in chat, it's a 10-second delay, at least a 10-second delay,
Yeah.
to where if someone scores a goal, people write it in chat, and then I see it like 10 to 20 seconds later.
I had a friend from Canada, and we were watching either hockey or NFL games or some soccer games, and they don't have the built-in 7-second delay that we do in the US. And on top of that, I was on AT&T Uverse that was known to have like an extra 10 to 15-second delay. So he would be like, goal! And I'm like, they haven't dropped the puck yet. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, the only thing I can do is like close out chat and watch the game that way. And I mean, it's fine at all. I'm watching on my phone.
yeah.
And it's still my issues lie more with Twitch than YouTube, because it does a lot more buffering than YouTube does. With YouTube, there's no delay. I have no delay.
Yeah, I watch everything on the TV as you saw when you were here, and I don't turn any chat on anywhere. I think the game chat with fans the way they are is toxic. I've had it on for a couple of YouTube games, and it's just like, okay, this is enough. So I don't do it. I mean, and especially if I'm on the Xbox, I have no way to type back. Then I have to use a separate device, and then I'm missing stuff that happens on the game. And for me, I just want to watch the game. I don't want to have this multimedia experience with. And granted, the corn dog hashtag or the action is cool, but that's not me. I'm an old cranky Gen Xer, so as one of our friends in the broadcasting business says, change is hard for us, which it isn't. I mean, I'm in IT and change is constant, and if you don't change you get passed up and you end up working at Walmart as a greeter, but or Menards. I think one of my bosses worked at Menards when he got. That's another story.
Yeah.
But yeah, my issue was just the weird way they implemented it. You know, I get a call from you as I'm crossing the street to go to the pregame, and like Eric says, exclamation, get off my lawn. The new Twitch action. But yeah, I get a call from you 2 hours before the game saying the game is exclusively on Twitch now, and I'm like, huh? That doesn't even make any sense. And yeah, they waited till 2 hours before the game, put it on Twitch, and then Milwaukee had technical issues and people didn't know where to find the game, and that's a bad way to do it. Like, make a giant announcement, make a big production out of it. Instead, they did it secretly, and then they were like, "Look at all these views we got." Well, that's great, but you know, if half of your hardcore fans can't see it, what do you really do? But that brings me into another point. I've asked this to people before, and I've gotten mixed answers. So if you were head of, say, a soccer league, and you said you had two choices. One, you have this situation. You can go to a platform that will be able to work with you, put games on their front page, give you ad revenue, do this and that, and you benefit from it. And you may get 200,000 new viewers, or you lose your 500 hardcore viewers forever. Which do you choose? And I don't think that can be a choice. I personally, I think you go with the numbers, because
absolutely,
you just can't make that choice. And I think that's going on. So the platform changed. It's the biggest gaming platform in the world, and it has been. And there are guys who play video games all day long and make millions a year. Somehow I'm in the wrong business, I guess.
Yeah, we're in the wrong business here. Of course, I mean, I'm okay at video games. I've played them since I was a kid. So
I played a lot of video games until I got into online poker in like 2003. And then it just seemed like I can click buttons and make money versus clicking buttons and just getting mad at my controller and throwing it at the wall.
Yeah, I think when Hannah was born, I stopped playing for a while. And then they told me they got into it when they were home, and I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
I'm in.
Kevin asked, did they ever explain why they moved to Twitch? There was never a real explanation, and there actually the note that I made 2 weeks ago before our or after our last show was that they never really explained that it was going to be exclusive. Oh, we're having Twitch as a streaming platform, but they were intentionally vague about it, and then all of a sudden all the games just switched over.
It's probably going to be a lot of like behind the scenes reasoning, revenue.
Yeah.
I mean, you're seeing it with the games now. I mean, before you go, like when you click on the link, what happens?
You get a half a second of the game and then an ad.
And then an ad. Yep.
And I would assume, I mean, it's kind of like monetizing a YouTube channel. I don't know if they have their YouTube channel set up like that, where it shows an ad before they go live. Some of them are like that, but I think they would get ads on the replay. In fact, I'm positive there's ads on the YouTube replay. But they don't get anything for going live.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But so Twitch is also subscription based. So when they reach certain thresholds, they could also make money by having a sub button. So for $5.99 a month, you get ad free. The emotes that come up that you can use in chat.
Crystal clear audio and no goofy camera angles?
No.
That doesn't seem worth it,
though. So I mean, I don't see that happening right now.
Oh, it's too early.
It'd be kind of, well, I mean, for the playoffs, maybe. But like May, June, July, like who's going to sub $5.99 a month for no
Right.
games unless you show like replays of. playoff games and stuff like that. Or
What I do wonder, I've seen
something.
a couple mention. I don't know how Twitch works as far as this, but they say a number of people say that Twitch only keeps videos for 60 days, and I think that's not good for the sport. I think we need those extra archived games out there somewhere.
Yeah, that's a downfall of Twitch. I mean, YouTube, I can go back and watch games from 4 years ago if I wanted
Yeah.
to.
Hey, Lucy.
Lucy.
Everyone turn left for Lucy. That's the joke that will never end.
It is. It really is. It's
Been that forever.
It's great.
All right, so that's so one thing about Twitch, I noticed that it's streaming in 1080p, whereas YouTube was 720p for some reason. And then I saw in a completely unrelated MASL something that Twitch is experimenting with 1440p, which is actually what we stream at here in the humble Corndog studio basement.
A lot of P.
It is.
Beaucoup. For
Six.
our French-speaking viewers, beaucoup de P.
I lost count. I can't get to 5.
All right, yeah. I don't want to spend 4 hours doing P's.
Yeah, Kevin says people get really mad that they can't watch replays by going back. Eric says League is working on this according to Twitch administrator last night, which is working on what? The going back or the keeping the archive forever? I know there's a delay between our talking in the chat, so I'll let Eric catch up to that. Archive.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Okay, well.
Because I think we lost the Facebook games. I don't know if you can go back and look at them, but there's just so many posts. I tried once and gave up after a couple minutes, and I don't know if they're there.
Geez, those are some great games. I mean, Eric posted it either yesterday or today. I think it was today. 1 year ago was the final semifinal game 2 in the mini game of San Diego, Florida, and Ontario, Kansas City, and that great double overtime game from Ontario, Kansas City.
Yeah. Adam G says, "Let's go old times on a Friday night. Let's go 4 hours." I'm not gonna be able to do it. So for now we have more people watching. My excuse is, so I was sick. I got a bronchial infection this week, so I couldn't talk or breathe Tuesday or Wednesday. Last night I was probably not ready to go, but Matt wasn't feeling well, so it was an easy out. I blame it on him. And then tonight it's okay. What happens when I get these is I can only take like 1/2 to 3/4 breaths. So when you do that for a long period of time, like I've had people like try doing that for 5 minutes and they're like, I can't take this. I'm like, yeah, I'll try it for 3 days. So my heart races and I get dizzy and so tomorrow.
It's funny. I get that same way watching a Baltimore broadcast.
Right. Blarst.
Or Florida.
Yeah, or Florida. I haven't watched a Florida one since I said I wasn't watching them anymore.
No 4 hour broadcast for me. I've got way too long of a weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so like I said, we may be taking like weird timeouts at weird places unannounced, and that's for me to like hack my brains out, and my fault.
Not mine.
Right. So far I'm doing okay. I have my I got a bottle of Windex here that I'm drinking.
I heard Windex helps with bronchial infection.
It does,
which is good. I mean, I'm glad you're drinking that. And
yeah, so Eric, and we'll get to these in a little bit, but Eric just said Milwaukee, Florida. It's inevitable, Adam. I know I'm gonna have to watch an away game.
No, it's not. It is not inevitable. Although, I will get to. We'll get to that part.
Yeah, that's. Let's talk some really good news. Friday? I don't know. I have
news for you.
Friday night, Ian Bennett, 400-point club. Big congratulations. I was gonna wear Ian Bennett gear, but I wore it and it's dirty.
Yeah, I got my tie-dye shirt finally after like 4 months.
Yeah, I still have an order open from November that I'm talking to them. I think it's out of stock still. It was the blue and black hoodie zipper one.
Oh yeah.
So I'll get it right when summer hits.
Yep.
I really hope
Perfect time
summer's
for
on
it.
a weekend this year. That'll be
Perfect time
nice.
for it.
Because I am wearing number 20. Number 28, can you see? Number 28, Victor Rada. Did you see it? Was it okay?
Yes. And
Um,
I was telling Adam before the show, I could have worn mine, but mine is a medium, and this frame is not medium.
this is not medium. This is a medium. It's a little tight on me, and I blame this shirt that it's too small.
Although I think Darren Toby's is a medium too, and I wore that for the relay race.
Well, that probably broke your hamstring. That's what did it.
Probably did.
That's what did it.
Yeah.
The other news. I don't know if I don't think he's out here because it's his birthday tomorrow. But our friend MJSL and I had this bet in preseason. Before the point systems or anything were in place, when Chihuahua announced what they were doing and Monterey announced they were out, and Solista Sonora basically just sold their rights to Chihuahua, so they weren't going to be in. We all thought Chihuahua was going to be the superstar team, and Jay's like, nope, they're an expansion team. They're going to go 0-24, and he's like, well, wait, Dallas is in, so they'll go 2-22. And I said, I bet you they will finish over 500. And we'd had a $20 bet, and then Chihuahua went 0-7. And Jay's thing was like, oh, on the 13th game, you'll be handing me that money at the Wave game, and it's like, son of a bitch, how is he right? And then he answered us in a couple videos of, well, they're an expansion team, and oh well, maybe they're an all-star team, but all-star teams never work well together, and blah blah blah. And then they went on a run. And 2 weeks ago, they won their 13th game, and I am now the proud owner of a shiny official
You should have
$20
you should have had him sign it.
I should have had him sign it. I should. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I'll see him at the game.
Have the ceremony. Just take a picture of you getting the $20 from him, and then add that to the intro or something. I don't know.
I mean, and I normally don't gloat, but yeah, maybe I do. So now I'm gloating a little bit. I kind of.
Just a touch. I mean, you haven't mentioned the story at all in the show, at all, over the last few weeks.
Which story? The bet?
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the bet I had with Jay? I just won this $20 bill.
No, you've never told me.
All right. So do you remember the New Year's Eve Tony Wall's balls off the wall game that the Wave had?
Yeah. Now we're going back to the story. Hey, remember that relay race I ran a few weeks ago?
Yeah, that was a good story.
Yeah.
So we got that. So one of the other new things that the league did in the last couple of weeks is they have a new.
Are we gonna talk about the new shiny hardware?
Not yet. In a second.
Okay.
In a second.
All right,
That's on the list. Let's just talk about a broadcast for a second. So I watched the Tacoma broadcast, and I have an analogy for what it's like. Because when they zoom in, you don't ever see the ball and the goal in the same frame. And what happens is when by the time they shoot and the cameraman wakes up and moves the camera, you miss a lot of goals. I've decided the analogy is like, imagine driving, and then they had an angle that was on the other side of the field they kept changing to. So imagine you're driving, but you only ever look like 3 feet in front of your car. Ever. And then completely randomly, you just look behind you for no reason. And then you go back. That's my analogy for the Tacoma broadcast. Almost unwatchable. Thankfully, they will not be in the playoffs. They'll be ending this weekend. Actually, they're done with their home games, so somebody fire the guy who's producing that and hire somebody who knows how to operate some cameras and camera angles. Thank you. That's my comment on that. One of the other changes they made, speaking of shiny hardware, is the new yellow ball. So I'm thinking this is in request and in response to Jeff Burham's letter from Ontario to the league about how the ball was giving concussions and causing problems, and it was too hard. Now, we've heard more information about this throughout the whole thing, but it's a yellow ball, has kind of the same coloring and things. Personally, yellow is much better for watching on TV by
Especially in
far.
Kansas City.
Yeah, right, exactly. But no, it's just easier to see. It's easier to track. You can tell there's more definition to it. I like that. But what was funny is the whole reason they made this new flight ball was because they added in this extra anti-bounce bladder thing. And then Eric says, "Watch it, Matt." And then in this yellow ball, to make it better, they took that out. So Panda had a little interview with Reimer the other night, and they said that that's what they essentially did, was take that out. So the ball is much more bouncy. It flies more. Now I talked to the GM of Milwaukee before the game on Friday, and he said, "Yeah, we got the balls like yesterday. We're not using them." Like, or no, they got them. I talked to him on Sunday. They got them Friday. He's like, they arrived here Friday, and the guys were in Dallas. We're not going to just play a game with a brand new ball without testing them. We're going to spend
They're
the
probably,
week.
I wonder how slippery they are.
I haven't heard the slipperiness factor. I haven't. We got to ask the San Diego guy about that.
Yeah.
But they move like this when you're doing a shot with all the spin these guys can put on the ball. They
There's
move
a
like
lot of there have been a lot of great goals that have happened over the last couple of weeks that have come from long distance, and
Mr. 400 Club, Ian Bennett's goal, which you could have voted for, but you'll never find out if he wins or not. So I just don't vote for those anymore. But yeah, so there's that. What else changed this week?
the other shiny hardware.
Let's get to that in a little bit. We'll do that one last.
All right.
UCFC's out of the playoffs. No, wait, they're in. Yeah, we don't know.
No, they're in. They're in.
Tommy Tanner pointed this out to me. Back in October, they listed a tiebreaker qualification list and then somehow put it wrong on the site. So everyone looking at the website got the wrong criteria for tiebreakers, which made, after the last loss that Utica had, made them out of the playoffs. And then somebody realized there was a clerical error made, and they changed it, and now Utica's back in the playoff hunt. It confused Alex Pastervansky so much that it wasn't even on MASL primetime. There was no mention of UCFC making the playoffs or what they had to do, and they basically just said there's 3 teams fighting for 8th place, even though there's really 4 teams fighting for 8th and 7th place. 7th and 8th place.
Yeah, it's weird. I knew after the Florida game on Sunday, I knew we were still in it, and then I saw the post that we were out of it, and I'm like, wait a second, that's not right. That doesn't. No, we still have a chance. If everyone else loses out, we're in, and we win. We're in. But yeah, definitely. Why is William Vanzella messaging me on Facebook? But he has a little favor to ask. Okay, well,
tell him to message me. If you're watching the show and messaging Matt, he can't see his messages, so send it to me, and I'll play a tribute to you, and then we'll read it.
Oh, remember that time we went to Kansas City? No, okay.
I do. Remember the deer picture?
Oh my God, that was the creepiest thing ever. Okay, I don't know if he's watching. I'm going to.
I don't know either.
You want to take a quick time out?
Sure.
Or do you want to keep going? I'll hop off real quick.
No, let's take a quick time out. I could use some coughing break. We'll be right back.
Now would be a great time for a timeout.
back to them.
And now, back to them. Oh, wait, I got to add Matt back to them. It's not really back to them yet. It's only back to me. It'll be back to them in just a second.
Now, back to them.
There we go.
Okay, we're good.
Now we figured it out.
Yeah, it's not anything. It's Utica City related. So yeah.
Eric Bergerud says, from a Sockers fan in the other group, while I applaud the accomplishments of the Sockers this season, the rest of the teams in the league need to find a way to be more competitive. Having one team that simply manhandles everyone else day in and day out does not make for a sustainable model. And he's toying with reading it on the air. Yeah, I would. I find it interesting that there's one team that's bought a roster that's doing really well, and there's one team that bought a roster who is maybe not doing so well anymore. And they just happened to play each other last night, and one got demolished.
Well, yeah, it's really interesting to see that the top two teams going in completely different directions.
Right. Top three, because Ontario was really the third team and Casey was really the fourth team for a while. And now that's completely been blown out of the water.
Yeah, I mean, we could have a situation where Ontario doesn't even make the playoffs. Like, Frank Taiu not in the playoffs is just crazy.
It's ridiculous, yeah. I don't know what's happened. Jimmy Norberg looks deflated after every of his interviews and is like, it's the technical issues, we're not following through. And
it's weird because that's how Utica was at the beginning of the season.
Right.
And now it's the other way around.
Teams are
Ontario, I think Ontario and Utica kind of flip-flopped.
Milwaukee had their two best games last weekend. Still some holes to fill and still some problems to work on. But if you don't have any problems to work on, you don't have anywhere to go. You can get complacent.
I mean, Utica could be in a lot better position, but they had a bad third quarter in Baltimore.
For Eric, for that comment, San Diego proved to me that you can beat a Mexican team in the playoffs when it counts. And you beat Chihuahua twice at home, both in overtime, but that was not the same Chihuahua team that we're seeing now. That's going to be my comment.
Imagine San Diego Chihuahua in the second round. Oh.
I mean, it's possible. A lot of things have to happen, but that's basically my, oh, it was a Blast fan who said that. I mean, I agree. It was hard to go from last season watching everyone stack to, as a Wave fan, coming in with 2/3 of the roster new. And Coach Jules has done an amazing job so far. And Ian Bennett has basically taken this team and pulled it on his back and dragging them along. I think Phil Levanko on the show used the word drag them by their nostrils. And the injuries. Huffman just injured his MCL. He's out. It's not a tear, so the good news is a grade 2 sprain. No tear, no surgery required. But he's out until the end of April. And if you look at the way the schedule is going to go, it's probably 1 week after the championship game is over. Even if the Wave were to get to there, I don't think we'll see him this year.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I didn't think I was going to see Moises Gonzalez back in a Utica jersey, and sure enough, played last weekend.
Yep, and played great.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's just, and I think St. Louis has been up and down. I don't think their coaching situation has helped them at all. Tacoma, I don't know. Tacoma just to me doesn't surprise me because they're not doing anything different and they have the same results every year. So at some point you got to do something different.
Yeah. So what were we talking about?
We were talking about the ball.
Oh yeah, the ball.
There's a great new show. It's called MASL Mondays, and it airs on Tuesday. and it features Phil Ivanko and Eric Bergerud. It was a great show. A great
It was
little
a
show.
great show. It was the best one so far.
It's the only one I watched the whole thing of.
Although they really didn't talk, like I said, they really didn't talk about Utica that much. So,
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
yeah.
So
I did watch it though.
I did. Yeah,
because
I watched the whole
it's
thing.
Phil and Eric. So
I watched the whole thing. I thought it was good. Let's see. What are my other notes? I want to get to the hardware in a little bit.
Are we moving? I'm apparently really excited to talk about the other thing.
So the Shield.
The
So with
Yeah.
1 week left of games to go, and a game coming up between the top two teams, the MASL decides, let's give a shield to the team that wins the most points. Shield looks like a combination between like a saw blade and a 90s CD. And it basically was like a, here you go, San Diego, have this thing. Because all they had to do was win one game, and they play Florida and Ontario, and they manhandled, I think is the term that Eric used from that quote, Florida last night. So they win the MASL Shield. So
now, could they use this shield in the playoffs? Could they like put it in the goal, like in the corner, and if someone kicks it and it hits the shield, it doesn't count?
what about like the guy in the James Bond movie with the hat and the shoe, and he would like throw it like a saw blade, stick into stuff? Or
yeah, but if someone was like on a breakaway or whatever, and they did that, they would probably get a penalty for that.
maybe.
Fun fact. I was watching one of the NISL games before this. It was Rome Columbus, and the guy said he's on a breakaway. It's a 3-on-3.
Seems like a breakaway. Speaking of 3-on-3, last night there were so many penalties in the San Diego, Florida contest that it was 3v3 for like 40 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, those West Coast games are way past my bedtime, especially if I'm working the next day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to watch that one. I kind of kept tabs a little bit on the Ontario Florida game, and then woke up the next morning. It was like Christmas. Like the first thing I did was like look, and I'm like, yes, we're still in it.
Kevin says, can the M2 have an aluminum foil shield for the crunch? It's funny you should say something like that, because Matt and I were talking, and we're gonna have a little special segment next week.
Is it next? Are we gonna do it next week?
I think we're gonna do it next week.
Okay.
We have to figure out things, because we're also gonna do playoff picks. We're gonna try to have Willie B in there, and there could be a potential playoff game I'm gonna be in person at next Thursday, depending on how things happen this weekend. But what we've decided to do, we are going to give our own awards, and I have a special graphic all set up for this. You ready for me?
This is because of our budget constraints.
Right.
It's because we don't have enough subscribers on YouTube. That's
right.
why.
If you would click the red button and subscribe, we are only math is hard.
The same amount away from 200 as we were last.
We're 797 away from hitting 1,000 subscribers. That's our goal. So anyway, we are going to have the first annual In the Box Paper Plate Awards. And it is actually a coincidence that this looks just like the ball.
Yeah.
But we are going to give away Paper Plate Awards next week.
And if you have any ideas for award like categories, put them on the Facebook page.
Put them on the Facebook page. Yes, exactly.
I mean, there's one category. I mean, someone in the chat is going to get a paper plate award that I can.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty much a given.
He says mascot of the year. I think that's giving him a little too much credit. But
yeah, I mean, there's lots of mascots out there. I was going to go with either keeper or Flummy the Flu.
What about the crab thing that Baltimore put out today? So if you guys haven't seen it, go out to Baltimore Blast Facebook page. Look at their April Fool's announcement. And the funny thing is, they have this weird crab thing that still isn't as creepy as Keeper from UCFC. So
yeah.
So Matt says his league contact had announced stated that the league announced the Shield either preseason or early on, and they just finished the knockups. I could find nothing to confirm this on the website. That's because the people who run the MASL website are clueless. They announced Ian Bennett had 400 goals when he hit 400 points. They had to change that. They've had like bad links for all sorts of crap all year round.
Ooh, which, by the way,
Yes,
can you do me a favor?
maybe.
Can you look at the forecast for Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania?
Oh, that's a good point. It's a staple of our show to look at the weather forecast for Phillipsburg. Get the weather forecast. Phillipsburg, PA is currently 36 and cloudy.
Yep.
Wind to the west-northwest at 8 miles an hour. Snow is ending in 43 minutes.
Yeah, it's been an interesting day in the Northeast.
There's one upcoming storm with little to no accumulation.
Yeah. So there you go.
Ending at
For
10
those of you
p.m.
that-
Yeah.
For those of you that wanted the Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania forecast,
Yeah.
thank you for watching.
Meanwhile, Milwaukee was 60 degrees on Monday and then like 3 inches of snow Tuesday. And then it's pretty much all melted by now.
We got, oh God, what was it? 6 or 7 inches late last week. And then yesterday it was 70. And today it was snowing.
Nice, yeah.
So yeah.
That kind of weather does great things to the sinuses.
Yeah. Allergies are just wonderful with these wonderful temperature changes.
I get like deathly sick like this once a year, almost on schedule at this time of year. Do me a favor. The goalkeeper from Chihuahua. How do you say his last name?
Valdivinos.
Valdovinos. Just like it looks, right?
Yeah.
It's not Valdovinos. And it's certainly dude in Tacoma, not Valdovinios.
Valdivinos.
He said Valdovinios like 40 times in each game.
I like
There's
it.
no Valdovinios. There's no Neos.
Valdivino Dantas.
There is no iOS in Valdovino. No, I can't say it.
Now you can't say it. So
Valdovinos. That's it. I'm avoiding the playoff scenarios. So Monterey's back
you're avoiding the playoff scenarios?
for now.
Oh, all right. Yeah, we did Monterey. Monterey's back.
What does that mean for Chihuahua next season? That's going to be the number one question.
Yeah.
And
I think you're going to see the key players go back to Monterey.
And Commissioner Tozer said on MSL Primetime that this isn't just a foot in the door. This is something I can't remember what he said, but this is going to be their expansion into Mexico and this big thing. But how can you do that when there's been no movement on the visa situation or no forward movement, I should say?
Well, there's been one step, one player in Florida,
right? Who if immigration finds out and watches our video, will probably get busted. And
yeah, on that front, unfortunately, I don't think you're going to see Darren Toby in a UCFC jersey this season. It looks like there were some snags in the paperwork or something, and I talked to him Sunday. So
I did hear some good news. The Wave is not losing. What's the word? They're not giving up on getting Lemos back in a Milwaukee jersey.
Well, good.
So even though it didn't it didn't happen this season, they're still thinking there's hope. I've heard from other people that there may be something in the works for visas, but of course nothing official or anything like that. So there's that. I don't know what that means. I don't have any more information than that. And it's not like a interview thing, like when you interview a player and they have to say something positive. This is a completely not even off the record, but just a casual conversation about, no, I'm not holding, not losing sight, losing hope on that. I still think it can happen.
So if let's say, for example, we have a paper plate award for Scandal of the Year, and it went to the visa issues, do we send a paper plate to the Department of Homeland Security?
Probably.
or Department of Immigration or whatever.
Yeah, we need to figure out our categories. Because right now I know what the biggest scandal is going to. The best had to be there moment. Oh, not you, Baltimore, because you weren't there.
You weren't there. Therefore, you don't get a paper plate,
Correct.
and we get points.
And by the way, the paper plates are mine. I'm going to eat off of. Well, probably not after I write on them, but
Good idea.
good idea.
We're not sending them out because the last time we did something like that.
Right. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, I'm not going to
Although
pay.
we did find out that it is being displayed somewhere in Tacoma, so that's good.
That's true. If you're ever in the Tacoma area, keep on the lookout for a trophy case with a corn dog in it.
Giant corn dog.
Hey, speaking of which, our good friend Pedro Sanchez, is that his name? Why can't I
Yes.
remember? Wait, hang on.
No, it's Andres.
Oh, it was Andres. It was Andres Trujillo, yeah.
Andres Trujillo from New Mexico.
Oh, yeah, that's dummy me. So, by the way, my 3 cousins in Mexico are all like spectacular musicians. My cousin Aaron runs like 2 or 3 choirs and is a musician for a living, and my 2 twin cousins, Drew and Kara, are both like fantastic singers. They submitted a video to sing the national anthem at a New Mexico, what's their United, and yeah, IENE says just blame the drugs at him. There's no way that's an L. That's an I. 100% that's an I. Okay, sorry. But they sing the national anthem at the New Mexico United game and did a just amazing job. So I sent their video over to Andres, who's going to have them do one at the next season.
That's awesome.
But he sent over something really cool, which ta-da. So let this play in the background till we can't take it anymore.
Fun fact: this is the weather forecast for Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania.
Right. Raining corn dogs. You've heard it saying raining cats and dogs, but now it's actually raining corn dogs.
There's apparently a song. It's called "It's Raining Tacos."
I like tacos too.
Well, I mean, yeah, tacos are also good.
Tacos and cake. So
Yes.
we watched the first episode of that show, Is It Cake, on Netflix. And the first thing they did was fast food items, and the guy who won made a cake that looked just like tacos.
I got to tell you, so there's a thing on Snapchat. I'll have to send it to you, and it's pretty much there's like an item, and the person has a knife, and you have to guess whether or not it's real or cake. So it's like a shoe.
Yeah.
And they like try and cut it. It's a shoe.
That's what this
But
show
then
is.
it's like,
Yeah.
There's like a toque or something,
Yeah.
and they cut it, and it's cake.
That's what
I
this
got
show
about
is.
half right.
It's a game show. So the first thing is they have people, they pick like which one is cake and which one isn't. And then those people go into baking challenge and have to choose whatever the theme is. Actually, we saw 2 of them. One was fast food items. One was things you'd find in like a clothing store. So it was like purses and hats and shoes and something else. And then they would have judges come in and try to pick which one of the 5 was cake and which one wasn't. But it's weird because they're like 40 feet away. And I think if you can go up there and have a better look, you could tell easier. But the guy who did the tacos, I think, cheated because he put some of his fake tomatoes in a real taco. And they picked that one as being cake, and it wasn't. It was real tacos. I think that's crossing the line just a little bit.
Yeah, that is. He should. They'll probably give him a point anyways for trying.
That's true. So dude who did it gets...
Yes.
I think we're at the point where we need to talk about playoff scenarios. I've been putting this off for entirely too long because I don't even understand what's going on.
Well, it's pretty simple. The playoff scenarios are pretty simple.
Well,
I know my playoff scenario.
They removed the text from the MASL page about what the scenarios were. They mean they're going to change them again?
No, I don't think so.
Tacoma, Harrisburg, get yourselves healthy. There's a chance that they're going to announce all teams are going to go into the playoffs again.
I did say that. I did say that at the. I think someone posted it in the box, like, "Oh, April Fool's is coming. What else does the MASL have in store?" And I'm like, "Well, all teams make the playoffs."
Oh, and speaking of which, we've had a lot of changes this year. There are no longer rules in the league. The rules that we knew as rules are now laws. Anything that doesn't involve gameplay is now a game protocol. Also, the mini games are no longer a thing. It's called a knockout game now.
It's a mini game protocol.
The mini knockout protocol game.
Protocol game. Protocol. You got to say protocol in there a few times to make it really official.
It's the TCP/IP of indoor soccer.
Right.
I don't know if you get that.
Exactly. So playoff scenarios. I'll make it easy. So Utica wins the next 2 games.
Oh boy.
We still have a chance. If 2 out of the 3 things happen, 2 out of the 3 of the following things. Ontario loses to San Diego. Milwaukee loses to Dallas. And then St. Louis loses both games against Kansas City. And it has to be in regulation.
And the planets, like, is the moon in retrograde or Mercury or something like that too?
That's on Sunday. Yes.
Okay. Oh, Eric says it's called an extra time period. So whoever announced it, I think Craig Elston announced it as a knockout period last night, but now it's the extra time period.
Great.
So it's not a minigame. So the league has done away with the minigame. Yes, finally. But the new game protocols dictate that it's called an extra time period.
And oddly enough, it's the same amount of time as a minigame.
Okay, I got it. All right. So that's how Utica has to get in. So everything has to go perfectly 100% right. And
not 100%. Not 100%. Like if Utica wins out, we need 67% success rate.
Okay. Oh yeah, because 2 out of 3. Eric says he has to pay $1 every time he says mini game. Well, I mean,
like that one day they were trying to not say the word comets, instead they had to say the word attack.
Right. And I mean, who wins on the Comets versus attack or the Brian Martin, Brian Miller? Because I think if you guys add that up, you'd probably be pretty even after the minigame thing. I mean, extra time. I mean, knockout.
Wouldn't it be great, like, if the playoffs had, like, Kansas City, Dallas, they had Brian Martin and Brian Miller?
Oh, God.
I guess I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
So do it for Nick.
So that is Utica's situation. So right now, it's weird because in some places they had Milwaukee 7th and some places they had Ontario 7th. But right now, Milwaukee is in 8th position. Ontario is in 7th position because Ontario has one more, or Ontario, we have the same amount of wins, the same amount of regulation wins, but the goal differential is higher for Ontario. Is that right? Because there were no head-to-head. So yeah, the goal differential is higher for Ontario. However,
what's the difference in goal differential between Ontario and Milwaukee?
More than one game's worth. Ontario's -8, Milwaukee's -22.
Well, okay, so -14.
I mean,
so Ontario could lose 16-1, which would help you out.
But yeah, so here's the thing. Milwaukee fans, we need to win tomorrow against Dallas. That will push us to 31 points. That will push us to 7th place. If Ontario were to win against San Diego, that would put them in 8th or in 7th, and we would be in 8th. Based on the way San Diego played last night, good luck. So yeah, Milwaukee fans, we need to win. And win in regulation would be preferred because that gets us 31 points. However, then if San Diego were to win twice, they would have, I think we would still win the tiebreaker on that one. Because we will both have 10 regulation wins. We both have 10 wins. We will both have 9 regulation wins, and then we're 10 points above in the goal differential right now. So what really needs to happen for Milwaukee to clinch is, are you falling asleep because all this?
Just win tomorrow.
Yeah,
That's all you gotta do.
we need to win. We need St. Louis to lose one game, and then we're in, guaranteed. That's all that needs to happen for us. Ontario basically win, and they're almost in. You still need a little bit of help. But it's crazy to think that Ontario could go on an 8-game losing streak and out of the playoffs based on how they started and where they were expecting to go this season.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the teams that are fighting right now. I mean, Ontario is just free falling. I mean, Milwaukee has picked up the pace a little bit, which is good. St. Louis hasn't really, I mean, done so well towards the second half of the season.
Hmm.
And Utica's been playing better now. Now, granted, you could sit there and say, oh, well, you've only beaten Harrisburg. We beat St. Louis once. We just got done beating Florida. So, I mean, Utica's kind of picking up the pace a little bit. So it's definitely going to be interesting over the next 2 days to see what happens.
Yeah. And
especially if Utica wins tomorrow. And, I mean, let's just say Milwaukee loses. Now, my predictions will come up. My predictions will come up later. So I'm not going to tell you who's going to make the 7th and 8th spots. But
so Wave fans, what happens, or all fans, what happens is it's seeded in the playoffs. So first place plays 8th place, second place 7th, and then the 2 matchups in the middle are already decided. Kansas City's playing Dallas and Chihuahua's playing Baltimore. Those matchups are already locked in. In fact, I think those games are actually on the schedule.
Yeah, I think Baltimore's is the 8th.
Yeah, Baltimore is hosting Chihuahua. Yeah, Baltimore's a Friday the 8th in Baltimore, and then Monday the 11th in Corner Sport Arena in Chihuahua. KC's are Saturday the 9th in Dallas, and then Tuesday the 12th in KC. And then my rumor has it, if Milwaukee makes the playoffs, our home game will be Thursday the 7th in Milwaukee. And then away game will be either in San Diego or Florida, depending on where we finish.
Yeah, to which I'm surprised San Diego and Florida have not given dates for their...
I thought I heard Craig Elson say Sunday the 10th for their home date, but I could be wrong.
Well, we'll know a lot more.
Yeah, Eric says San Diego 4:10, so Sunday.
Yeah.
So those are the playoff scenarios. And St. Louis basically just has a win 2, and then they need a little bit of help. But they took I think they need to win 4 points. Or Ontario needs to win. I don't know what needs to happen, because they had it all written out in words, and then they took it off the playoff site like sometime today, because it was on there earlier today.
Yeah, any kind of tie, anything like that, if it happens to one or more teams, Utica's out. So our wins have to be in regulation, and all the losses have to be in regulation.
Speaking of that, Tacoma in their first game against, was it against Chihuahua, or a second game against? It was basically their last chance to make the playoffs. They had to win a regulation, and they were tied late in the game, and not 5 seconds after they pulled the goalkeeper, pulled Waltman and put 7th attacker in, they got scored on.
Yeah, I mean, if that's a scenario, I'm sure Coach Hall will put in 6th attacker.
Yeah. It has to be. I mean, it's one of the weird things. Like if there's
I hope it doesn't come to that.
Yeah, I mean, if there's like a goal differential late in the game, you've seen this in the NFL too, where they'll just go for 2 or something weird, or they'll keep playing. And speaking of which, about an hour ago, Adam Grosskreutz asked something that I totally forgot about. He said, "What's more likely for Adam, watching a Florida game at home or an NFL game?" It's looking like watching a Florida game at home, maybe. At my home, not in Florida. Although we were trying to do it, Tara's foot is still messed up enough that she can't walk enough on it. We're not going for an away game for.
Do you want? I mean, it's gonna kind of spoil the picks, but do you want me to tell you what I think's gonna happen?
No, because we don't have
All right.
too much more left to say.
All right.
I don't really have anything more. Like, the league's changed a whole bunch of stuff. We're on Twitch. Ian scored. I won $20 in case you guys haven't seen this from Jay. MSL Primetime, MSL Mondays, which is on Tuesdays with Phil and Eric, and the Wrong Graphics. Monterey's back at the paper, just like 30-second in the box paper plate awards. I think we're caught up.
Yeah, next week, hopefully playoff picks, Hannah versus Willie B, paper plate awards. Harrisburg is auctioning off jerseys on LifeSource. Don't go after Willie B's. That's mine. So there.
Yeah, and I don't know what day we're gonna be able to do a show next week.
We'll figure something out because I mean with playoffs and everything, maybe back to Tuesday. I don't know.
It might have to be Tuesday. 'Cause there's gonna be a game. There's gonna be a game maybe Thursday, and there's definitely games Friday. There's one. It's only it's a Blarst game. We'll have to figure it out.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So we have a new thing that we can do. Wait,
a new thing?
yeah. So we want audience participation. And this will take a while. You know what? Let's do a quick timeout. And we're gonna come back. We're gonna do YouTube polls for picks. You guys can play along, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the game clock thing here. Where is it? There, we're gonna do that thing, and we'll each do 30 seconds, and then when the minute's up, I'll stop the poll, and we'll be able to see the poll results along with ours.
Well, there's going to be certain games where we're going to need more than 30 seconds.
Right, but then everyone gets more than 30 seconds.
All right.
So let's do that. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes.
Now would be a great time for a timeout.
Now, back to them.
Them are here. The flying corn dogs aren't as annoying as I thought they would be.
It's kind of calming, actually.
It is. What's going on here? David Kraft wishes us well and says that he hopes the Wave loses tomorrow. Thanks, bud.
Hey,
Appreciate
you know, David, I appreciate that comment, and I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I don't know if he's watching or if he just messages me in the middle of. He probably doesn't. He probably thinks this is a joke that we weren't going to go live tonight anyway.
Not a lot of people did, I don't think. But
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a poll. The away team is going to be listed first. The home team is going to be listed second. And it's going to look like this. See if it comes up here. There. So it's up right now. So first thing, Tacoma at Utica. And Matt, I will let you. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
I don't care.
I'll go first. This should be a really interesting game. Tacoma doesn't have anything to play for. Utica does. Utica's at home. Utica seems to play better at home. Tacoma's without Nick Pereira on a quad injury. Nick, I hope you heal up soon. That did not look good because it was a complete non-contact thing. I am taking Utica at home in overtime. No, I'm just kidding. Just in regulation.
Swear to God.
All right, here you go.
So after Utica's 5-4 victory over Florida, I think everything is starting to fall into place for Utica. Now, granted, it's going to take a lot of help for us to make the playoffs, but it all starts tomorrow night, 7:00 against against Tacoma. Like Adam said, without Nick Pereira, Vinny Test being shipped to Baltimore. I mean, this is a recipe for a Utica win in regulation. If we can't win in overtime, it doesn't matter. Everything's starting to fall in place for this team, and Utica, of course, is going to win. So, give me Utica.
All right, so end poll. We have 2 votes, and both are for Utica.
All right, good. They can stay in the chat.
So let's try to get some better audience participation here. Next game is, these are hard to type. Next game is Chihuahua at Harrisburg, and go. Go. And go. Where is it?
And
There
go.
it is.
Go.
Who's going first?
So this is an interesting game. Chihuahua and Harrisburg both have nothing to play for. I think you're going to see a lot of young guys for both teams. I'm going to take Harrisburg because Harrisburg is an okay team at home.
Oh.
I will take Harrisburg in an upset.
All right. I got to go Chihuahua. This is kind of like the I can't pick against San Diego until they lose. And Chihuahua is.
You already got your $20.
I know I did, but I think they still have some stuff to prove. Now the field, the weird bouncy field, the dirt bouncy muddy field may change things, but I picked Chihuahua to win fairly easily. Oh, I got buzzed out, and then we got 4 votes. Everyone picked Chihuahua.
No.
Next game, Wave fans, wake up. How do you spell Dallas? Should I spell it wrong on purpose and honor Matt Thornton?
Just put put Dallas with 2 L's and 2 S's.
Dallas. All right, poll is up. Are we going to pick M2 finals next week? Sure. Who's playing?
Omaha. I know Omaha's playing. I watched that game. That was a really good game.
All right, Dallas versus Milwaukee.
I'll go first. So, Milwaukee's in the same spot as Utica, basically needing to win to get into the playoffs. Dallas, nothing to play for. Um, I would like to see a Dallas win. I'm hoping for a Dallas win, but I'm going to rely on Ontario and St. Louis to lose. Give me Milwaukee.
Awesome. Milwaukee lost Huffman again. It's been rough without him, but they picked it up big time over the weekend. You could argue that both Dallas and KC had unrostered teams, but Milwaukee's been dealing with that all year, and we've been managed to get into position to be in the playoff hunt. So this is a must-win. Everybody knows it. It's going to be the biggest crowd of the year. I'm guessing 51-27 is my guess for for attendance. 5127. I think Milwaukee takes this. I think Ian gets more points, solidifies his MVP run. And I take Milwaukee by in regulation by a bunch.
Yeah. So I just pretty much told you what's going to happen. Milwaukee's going to get Florida. Utica's going to get San Diego in the first round.
6 votes, 83% chose Milwaukee, which I'm assuming that's 5, and 1 chose Dallas.
And which I'm going to guess that is a Utica fan.
Leanne says, what drunk person picked Dallas? And as soon as those people picked Milwaukee, now we're down. We lost a whole bunch of viewers. So,
well, so I want Dallas to win.
Oh yeah.
Like in order for Utica to make the playoffs, I need 2 out of those 3 things to happen. Milwaukee needing to lose, but I'm going to rely on 2 other teams.
Makes sense. The other thing that I heard was because Dallas doesn't need to really do anything, a bunch of their players aren't going to be traveling, which only helps our case, so that's fine with me. All right, next game. I'm starting the poll now. It is the first of a doubleheader. We'll do these separate. St. Louis hosting Kansas City. So Kansas City at St. Louis. You can go.
I've already given you my prediction on this game. I think you're going to see Kansas City start most of their main guys. I mean, they're kind of not at 100% right now when it comes to playing. I mean, we saw a 7-3 loss against Dallas at home. So I think you'll see a lot of the main guys. Give me KC in this week.
All right. This one should be interesting because if you think about how they would play it in a home and home, and one's at 8 o'clock Eastern, one's at 5 o'clock Eastern the next day, you would think they would maybe run a skeleton roster away and then play all their guys at home to basically make the run into the playoffs. I still think they can do it though, so I'm going to pick KC to win in St. Louis, along with 5 of the 6 voters in the chat. All right.
Wait, so you picked both games?
No, I did one at a time.
Oh.
Because there's other games in between. Well, maybe people forget about this before we get there.
All right.
This one. Here we go. I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
Chihuahua at Utica. Poll is up. Wow. If Utica can play the defensive game they played against Florida, they have a chance. Can they stop Chihuahua's offense? Does Chihuahua send their offense on this trip? Chihuahua just signed like 4 new guys on the roster deadline. I am picking Utica in this game. And maybe a surprise pick.
Wait, who did you pick? You picked Utica?
I picked Utica. Go ahead.
So you already know my choice. It's going to be Utica. Imagine Sunday afternoon at the Adirondack Bank Center. Utica, if they win, has a pretty good chance of making the playoffs. That place, this weekend, it's going to be nuts. I'm not going to have a voice on Monday.
Oh, you better not. Yeah.
Utica wins in regulation.
What would have been funny now We talked about this throughout the season, is if the bet I had with Jay came down to this game. Like they were at 12 wins and it came down to this one game. But
Then you would have picked Chihuahua. I know it.
yeah, so 7 votes, 71% picked Chihuahua.
71% picked Chihuahua. Get him out. Get out.
All right.
Chihuahua's not going to send their main guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
There is no way.
I wouldn't think so, but you never know.
Especially with the way they've been playing.
Yeah. And I mean, and they haven't been able, once they got up to 4th place, they haven't been able to move either way.
I mean, why fly all the way to the cold Northeast to fly back and then fly to Baltimore like 3 days later?
Right? Maybe they'll stay the whole week and enjoy the weather. Well, that's interesting, though. If it's only Sunday to Friday, do they fly back home or do they send their entire roster?
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't think about that.
yeah, they're either going to stay in Chihuahua or they'll travel, but they won't play.
I mean, by the time
where
Melcher,
are they gonna hang out in Baltimore?
yeah, I mean, by the time Melcher drives the bus all the way back to Chihuahua.
Yeah, that's true.
You're
They'll
gonna
have
have to
to,
get right on the-
turn around and drive them back.
Yeah. All right.
Did you see? So speaking of, I think did Dave Kovaleski send you the picture of the Harrisburg Heat? What the Harrisburg Heat posted
About Melcher? Yeah. Yeah, he said we even have other teams dunking on Melcher now.
Yeah, exactly.
So Baltimore posted this thing of big announcement tomorrow. Now, first of all, the first rule of April Fool's Club is you don't talk about April Fool's Club. And you certainly don't announce it a day before. They dropped the ball on that. But anyway, a number of people were wow, I wonder what it's going to be. And Lewis writes this post in his little group that supports a league that never even started. And basically says, what do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be a trade? Is it going to be a big signing? Is Ian Bennett going to be in a Baltimore uniform? And all the things he said in his list aren't possible anymore because all the trade and roster deadlines are already over. So no, Lewis, it's not a trade after the trade deadline. Even though Baltimore gets away with a whole bunch of crazy shit this season, it's not one of those.
We should have a paper plate award, the Lewis Melcher Lifetime Achievement Award. And just give it to like Gerd.
All right. Next game, possibly the most useless game of the weekend. Second most useless game of the weekend is Baltimore at Florida.
Oh, who cares?
Right.
Do we even have to? I don't even want to pick this game.
All right. End poll.
I mean,
End timer.
Baltimore crushed Florida 12-4 the last time they went down.
I ended the poll. Nobody can vote.
I guess. Florida doesn't look so good right now. Although, I will say a big thanks to Ricardo and Breno Oliveira for stopping over to say hi to Hannah and Henry on Sunday.
That was cool, yeah. All right, next real game. I'm not watching that game. I'm not going to pay attention to it. I don't care. So, this game is the most or the second most of the weekend. This one is St. Louis at Kansas City. I think we both know what we're both going to say on this.
You already know where I'm going.
Yeah, me too.
So these are simple. Like my picks are super simple. It's like I'm taking Kansas City to sweep.
I think the only game for me in this series is the one that's in question is the one in, I'll just turn this, is the one in St. Louis, because I don't know what kind of roster they're going to send. But I would assume with a playoff game looming on Saturday that this game on Sunday is going to be a momentum game for KC. They're going to play all their starters. They're going to play as hard as they can. They're going to treat it like a playoff game. Because I think we've seen what happens when you rest guys going into the playoffs. You just aren't as sharp the first week or the first game. So I think this will be a rout for KC. And 86% of these 7 voters agree with me. One person
Oh,
picks
just you? Okay. Well,
the second most useless game of the weekend is hang on.
Chihuahua at Harrisburg?
No, we already did that one. It's even
Oh,
worse.
Tacoma at Harrisburg.
It's Tacoma at Harrisburg. I'm not even going to put a timer up for this one. Tacoma, last game of the season. They have nothing to play for. Harrisburg, last home game of the season. They also have nothing to play for. Give me Harrisburg at home.
It's weird. It's going to be weird for me to say this, but a rare Harrisburg sweep.
Oh, yeah. I picked Chihuahua, so. This one's much more, well, there's only 5 votes, but this one's a 60-40 in Harrisburg's favor.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, they have to win one of these games. I mean, they play good at home. I mean, they beat Baltimore 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
I mean, they played Florida pretty close.
They came a minute away from beating Florida twice. I mean,
Yep.
in reality.
Yeah, exactly. So the mystique of Harrisburg.
So the 5 votes, Harrisburg is in as the winner. I like this poll thing. We're gonna do this more for stuff.
We'll do it. Well, we'll do it for the playoffs.
Yeah, and then the game that might mean something and it might not, and probably will mean something. Sunday night, 4 p.m. No, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific, is the Ontario Fury at the San Diego Sockers. Ontario, I think they still need 4 points, but they need also 4 points to lose. So I think this could be a must, or like if they win, they're in kind of situation, unless everything goes horribly wrong. But I don't think it's possible for everything to go wrong for them. Is it?
Anything's possible.
Yeah. I gotta go San Diego though, based on the way they played, and I don't imagine that they're gonna rest all their guys. They may rest the Craig Childs and maybe 1 or 2 others, but they're gonna still have. It's a
The Craig Chilis.
that guy.
Oh, okay. Yes.
He's the newspaper reporter that's on the sidelines at the games and on the bench
Oh, yeah. Future Gerg.
with the lanyard and the clipboard and the.
Was he past Gerg?
With the what?
Is he past Gerg?
He's future. No, he's himself in the future. No, he's himself in the present. Gerg is him in the future.
Ah, okay. So imagine, I'm gonna paint this picture. Like, let's say, for example, Utica wins out in regulation, 28 points. Let's say Milwaukee loses. Okay. Just go with me. St. Louis wins one of their games.
Oh, so everyone's at 28 is where you're going with this.
Everyone is at 28, and it comes down to this final game.
Here's what's going to happen if everyone comes in at 28, and this is the secret MASL, like not conspiracy theory, but little Easter egg that they've hidden in. MASL Shield is actually a giant coin. Since they'll be in San Diego, they will flip the MASL Shield to choose the playoff winners if that happens.
I heard it was supposed to be rock, paper, scissors done via Zoom.
I thought, based on what we saw last week, that paper beats rock. Get it?
Yes, I got it, and I know that's not the joke we're ending with, but
No. I saw that though. That's everyone in the chat picked San Diego.
San Diego. I mean, they do have something to play for still. I mean, it's an undefeated season.
It is. In fact, the only team that beat them was Ontario.
Unbeaten. not undefeated, unbeaten.
There's no that doesn't exist. Sorry, Jay, that's not a term. The only team that beat them in overtime was Ontario. So,
But that was at the beginning of the season.
right. I think
Now look at it. I mean,
there's some pride. Pardo is playing lights out. The goalkeeper rule helped this team. Tavoy Morgan, what? He scored 4 goals in like 6 minutes.
yep.
And the game was done in halfway through the first quarter.
Yeah. It was like 5-1. I'm like, yep, done. Pack up and go back to Florida.
Right, yeah. I'm like, shit, you guys should have stayed home and collected your point. I mean, just...
Yeah. But I'm gonna take San Diego. So basically, Adam, what you and I are saying is Milwaukee and Utica are making the playoffs.
If the picks we come up with happen that way, yes, that would be what happens. And Milwaukee gets 7th, and we get to play Florida, and you get 8th, and you get to play San Diego.
Which is not I mean, the last time we played them pretty well, and then you get a Florida team which isn't really clicking right now. So we'll see.
Oh, so I didn't watch the Heat game last week, but I heard some of the clips on MASL Primetime, and his audio is just horrible. I'm glad I gave up doing the report cards for the broadcast, because
Yes.
one other thing we're going to do, and Matt, I don't know if I've talked to you about this, but I would like to take a list of things and rate the league on how they've done on those this year.
I think you mentioned something like that. I think we had talked about like the commissioner wants certain things to be 25% better than it was last season or something like that. Yeah.
And I think we
can do that.
We'll do a pass fail. Do we think this improved 25%? Yes or no? And we'll do that. We got to come up with a list. We got a lot of work to do before Tuesday. I think
for the record, I'm doing it all on Monday because as soon as I go to bed or as soon as I wake up in the morning, it's pack.
Yeah.
Clean my car out, drive to Utica because I'm staying out there.
Right. I'm supposed to have band practice Monday night, so we may scramble at last minute things.
We might fly by the seat of our pants like we normally do on a Tuesday night.
Our graphics department might be busy printing plates on Tuesday during the day. But yeah. Well, we're at an hour and a half, and I don't have any more things to go over.
All right. That's perfect. More sleep.
I mean, I do have one thing. So
thank you all for watching. I know where he's going with this. Every time there's one more thing, we all know what's going to happen. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Like I've said before, there's 945 people in the Facebook group. Why is there only 180 something subscribers? It makes no sense.
I think we have 193. Unless
I will literally message every single one of you that is not a member.
193.
And just tell you to subscribe. That's all I want you to do.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start allowing people named Jakob Wachista, Raj Manjabangabor, Mula Gina, Seprai Hada Nandu, Chel Olino Pedrosa, and all the people from foreign countries that are bot accounts that have tried to join the group within the last month. I will approve them, let them post all their spam and everything if they subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly.
That seems worth it.
I think that should be like one of the precursor questions. Can we put that in there? Like, will you subscribe to our YouTube channel?
Right.
If they say no, be like,
you're out. Sorry, Gerg, you're out.
Oh, by the way, have we heard any updates on MASL Fan of the Year?
No, I don't care.
Well, I don't care either. It's kind of interesting to.
I haven't looked at it since that first post, so I don't know what's going on with the voting or whatever.
Okay, good. No.
Adam Grosskreutz has a good point, and maybe we should do this. Do the season-ending show year interview at the end of the playoffs. We'll give the grades then.
Okay.
That'll give us more time. We don't have to try to do all this next week. We can also do the paper
next week. Picks, paper plate awards.
We could maybe even push off the Paper Plate Awards until the week after.
So then just do a playoff show.
Just do a playoff show. Maybe that'll be easier. Let's do that. Good call, Adam.
Yeah. Great.
Because it's so, I don't really call it procrastinating, because if you wait to the last minute to do something, if the older you are, the wiser you are. So you're actually the wisest point you could possibly be when you do that thing. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So everyone
All
have a
right,
good
so,
night.
Yeah. So
Matt,
okay.
get your button ready. It looks like we're going to be Tuesday next week, unless one of us dies again. Then it will
no,
be.
I'm good. I won't die. Hopefully we'll have a voice by Tuesday.
Tuesday,
If
yeah.
not,
Yeah.
I have my handy dandy dry erase board here. So
Hopefully I'll be able to take a full breath by Tuesday. So
yeah.
So okay. So this cowboy, he moves for, and by the way, this is a last minute addition because I had one set up and I saw this, and this one seems better. I like the story type jokes for this. I like the little one-liners from my
Because
YouTube
it
channel.
extends the show.
It extends the show.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it gives you time to, you can ask questions, set up the scenery and everything. So there's this cowboy. He moves from Texas to, say, Montana. And easing in, getting used to the town, goes into this bar, orders 3 beers, goes and sits in the corner and takes a turn sipping each of the 3 beers until they're gone. And halfway through, the bartender comes over and goes, it might be much easier for me to just give you 1 beer. You drink it, then you do the third. And he's like, because it'll stay cold. Otherwise, they get warm like this. He says, no, see what happens. My 3 brothers, we all moved from Texas. One went to Arizona, one went to California. I came here. And we decided to keep a tradition up whenever we go drinking. We each drink just like this. We each get 3. We take sips for each other, and it's all like we're drinking buddies together. And bartender's like, oh, that's cool. So over the course of like the next year, Cowboy's in there like every Friday and Saturday night. He always orders the same thing. He does it. He's like a local town hero. Everyone likes him. He's part of the community. Everything's working out well. One day, he comes in, he orders 2 beers, and he sits down, and the whole place goes silent. Like in the old time Western where the record player stops, the piano player stops.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and the bartender comes over, and he's like, I want to give my biggest condolences. I don't know which one of your brothers passed away, but I can see it. It's obviously affected you. He goes, the guy's like, no, it's nothing like that. He goes, my wife joined this new Baptist church. We're not allowed to drink anymore, but fortunately, my brothers don't have that limitation.
Oh.